Good morning and welcome everyone to our online UUFA service. My name is Amy Slagle and I serve on the Sunday Services Committee. And I really want to welcome everybody this morning as we gather for a service of words and song as we look forward to a new year. You may come today aware of personal sorrows and challenges, physical, emotional, financial, interpersonal. You may come aware of anxieties that you're feeling for the nation or the peoples of the world or for the earth herself. You may come aware of the joys of the seasons, glad for the lights, the celebrations, the connections, the food, and the nurturing relationships that you may have had with others over the last week. You may come aware of a conspicuous absence in your life and the grief of loss. You may come aware of hope in your heart as you look to a new year, which always brings some feeling of freshness. So this morning we gather with all our complexities to consider this moment of transition from one year to the next with intention. Welcome this morning. Our chalice lighting this morning comes from Lois Van Leer. We light this chalice on the brink of a new year, letting go of what has been, open and hopeful for what may come, renewed, restored, ready to live life fully anew. May we move forward with intention.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
We start our service today with a New Year's poem and a greeting from Reverend Kelly.
I love this poem. I read it every
Apologies for my confusion this morning. I have two screens and they are not functioning as expected.
I love this poem. I read it every year. It's called New Year's Eve by the late Anne Bushnell. She was a Unitarian Universalist from Minnesota. The old year, clothes tattered and muddy, slowly pumps his bicycle, one tire low, chain guard gone, up through December. Panting, he gains the summit where plump young year, fine in fresh clothes, waits on new bike. Small pink hand waves once, clutches handlebars, disappears over the top of January, gathering speed toward spring. Old year sighs, abandons his battered bicycle, limps into history. Here's wishing all of us bright blessings in the new year as we gain speed toward spring. May we find safety, comfort, and always more justice. Happy New Year.
Our Time for All Ages today is a video story from Leah Morris.
Let me tell you about the empty cup. There once was a very wise and revered teacher whose students came from all over the land to learn, to grow. One day, a very important person decided that she would study with this teacher in case there was something more that she could learn as well. So she traveled to the teacher's home, sat down, and presented herself. You've probably heard of me. You probably know about my accomplishments and all the things that I've done and my reputation as a very important person. The teacher began by offering a cup of tea. Gratefully, the VIP accepted. When the tea was ready, the teacher set it on the table and began to pour. At 3/4 of a cup, the VIP said, "That'll be enough, thank you." Yet the teacher continued to pour. When the cup was full, the new student said, "Please, that's enough, thank you." The teacher continued to pour and the tea began to spill over onto the table, hot tea in her lap. And she said, "Enough, what are you doing? Why are you continuing to pour this tea? I said that's enough." The teacher calmly continued to pour and said, "I would love to teach you. It would be my great pleasure. But I'm afraid you are too much like this overflowing cup. In order for you to learn something new, you must first become empty." This story reminds us of the beauty and the possibility of awakening to each moment afresh, with new eyes, open to new insights, so that we can constantly be growing. This story inspired this song. Wake up, begin again, this is a new day. Open your eyes, the sun has never shone this way. It's never been this day. You sure you've heard it all before? Sure you've seen it all before? Been down this path, it's a road I know. It's never been this road before. You've never been just who you are. Just face it, everything's changing, rearranging every day. Weekend, wake up, begin again. This is a new day. Open your eyes and say it's never been this day. Sun has never shone this way. And when you look for something new, do you ever look and you turn it sideways, hold it up to your face? Indeed, in every time and place, there's something fresh to touch and taste. Just face it, everything is changing, rearranging every day. Weekend, wake up, begin again. This is a new day. Open your eyes, the sun has never shone this way. It's never been this day.
During this time today, the Sunday Services Committee invites you to consider intentions for the new year. Leah's story and song reminds us to consider setting the intention of being open to the newness of each moment, to make space to remind ourselves of the wonder of today's sunrise, of today's opportunities. Jan, will you share our first reading?
Okay. Our first reading today is from the author of Buddha's Map, retired Universalist minister Doug Kraft. He says, "When I was a kid, I liked to skip stones on lakes. If I threw a flat stone at the correct angle with enough speed and energy, it would kiss the surface and leap into the air again and again. If we have too much stuff in our lives, our attention skips from one object to another without really enjoying anything. If we have too many activities, our attention jumps from past to future without settling into the present. If we have too many opinions, we end up thinking about how things should be without fully seeing how things are. Happiness and ease flow from the bottom of the lake. They aren't found hopping over the surface of life. We have to slow down enough to settle into the depths. Joy and ease are simple and uncomplicated. Having lots of things to do, stuff to manage, places to go, and opinions to consult make life complicated. Practices that cultivate simplicity do two things. One, they reduce the amount of stuff, activities, or preferences, so we have a better chance of settling into the present. They get the outward to resonate a little better with the happiness, joy, and ease of our depths. And two, they help us become more aware of our relationship to stuff, experience, and thought." Those are some deep thoughts, aren't they? If I may say so. If it fits, okay, just a moment here. If it fits for you, today could be an invitation to cultivate simplicity. Might this be a practice that could help you settle into the present and better access the happiness, joy, and ease in your depths? Thank you.
Thanks, Jan. I'm going to invite each of you to sing along with the next music video. It's a video of When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. The lyrics will be on the screen, so please, do keep it on mute, but go ahead and sing, even if you're there by yourself, even if you're there with someone else watching. Sing along to participate in today's service. Singing is good for our health.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place, then our heart is in a holy place, then our heart is in a holy place.
Well, that was fun. Did you all clap along? Are you trying to get that off the screen, Amy? Well, we have a second reading this morning, and it's a poem by Amy Lloyd, and it's entitled Intentions and Trust. Today, I want to greet joy without a trace of suspicion. I want to open my eyes to the light without a blink of dread. I want to look at my past without a whisper of shame. I want to look at my future without a hint of fear. Today, I want to dance without pausing to think. I want to belly laugh without caring who hears. I want to open my arms and twirl in the sun until I fall breathless,
free to be myself, full of the joy that I open to allow, completely letting go, without even a smudge of suspicion or a wink of hesitation. That's my intention. It's what I want. So, what I enjoyed about this poem is that it was an intention just for today. I set intentions for myself, some long term, some short term, but the short term ones are actually, I guess, a little more fun. And intentions are so different from resolutions. Just think of the word resolutions, resolute. I'm going to do this. Where an intention is, this is the path I'd like to follow. So I appreciate this poem because it's her invitation to set an intention just for today. And I like the sentence, today I want to greet joy without a trace of suspicion. Or in another one, she called it a smudge of suspicion, a smudge of some suspicion. So maybe today is an invitation for each one of us here today to set an intention for just how you'll choose to live just for today and not being concerned about tomorrow. What might be your intention just for today?
Thank you, Karen. That poem's such a great reminder for me. I mean, it seems like if I set intentions at all, it's about what I intend to do today. It's a list of things that need to be accomplished, things I need to do, and less intentions about how I want to be today. After the service, I hope that some of you will choose to stay online and maybe share an intention that you have for how you'll choose to live today. This is a time in our service when I remind everyone that our December offertory recipient is the UU Service Committee. The UUSC advances human rights and social justice around the world, partnering with those who confront unjust power structures and mobilizing to challenge oppressive policies. Their work is grounded in the belief that all people have inherent power and dignity. You'll find a link posted to the chat eventually to take you to the UUFA website where you can share your gifts today with the UUSC or with one of several other areas that you can choose for giving on that website here at the end of the year. As we remember the work of the UU Service Committee and continue to think on the poem that Karen just read and its invitation to greet joy without a trace of suspicion, I invite you to join me in the Spanish city of Sabadell, where my favorite rendition of Ode to Joy was filmed a few years back. I really love that video. Not just for the beauty of the music that just grows and grows as those performers rush in from everywhere to join, but from being able to see the impact that this group of musical activists have on the crowd around them. The people are suddenly riveted in place. They're moved to try to capture the moment on their phones, and young children start to imagine themselves conducting the musicians. What we see here is dozens of random people pulled out of their routines to witness something marvelous. And as they gather, they become aware of each other as people who are suddenly connected by being able to have this experience together. So it's not just a gathering, a video of a gathering of one people, this flash mob of musicians, but really a video of the miracle of how this group of musicians, full of their intention to create beauty, to share their gifts, to create joy, brings another group of people, another community into existence. I think when I watch the video, it reminds me of that inspirational message from Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. Your decision to live into your intentions. Our decision as a community of faith to live into our intentions can unleash a contagious power that inspires creativity, connection, and joy. And that's a thought I'm going to carry into this new year. I invite everyone to sing along with Leah in our closing song, Keep My Heart Wide Open.
Keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. You've got to keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. I'm gonna keep your heart. I'm gonna keep wide open. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open. Though the waves want to push you around, though the waves want to push me around, I'm gonna keep your heart. I'm gonna keep wide open. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open until my faith brings me back to solid ground. Until my faith brings me back to solid ground. I'm gonna keep your heart. I'm gonna keep wide open. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open. Though the waves want to push around, though the waves want to push me around, I'm gonna keep your heart. I'm gonna keep wide open. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open till my faith brings me back to solid ground. Till my faith brings me back to solid ground.
So we extinguish our chalice flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment that it represents. those we carry in our hearts until we gather together again. Thanks for joining us this morning in this unconventional way. Please feel free to stay after for some online conversation, or just before you leave, feel free to share in the chat an intention you have for this day. I hope to see you at the UUFA in the new year. Thanks for coming.